Welcome to Pack It Like It's Hot, the official podcast from MJS Packaging, where we dive into real-world packaging insights with the people who know it best, our team, our partners, and other industry pros. Let's get started. Welcome to Pack It Like It's Hot. This is Cindy Vogel, Director of Marketing from MJS Packaging, and I'm here with my colleague,
Greg Clarke. I am the Senior Account Executive at MJS Packaging. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning. Today we're welcoming Nicole Coxford, Product Development and Design Manager for Sprayco Consumer Products, which is the retail arm for MJS Packaging. Welcome, Nicole.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you for being here today. We want to start off by having you tell us about your everyday role and the packaging you design for Sprayco.
I create packaging and product for travel-sized plastics and spray bottles and the triggers that accompany them.
Nicole, what inspires you with design?
In my daily life, I gravitate toward wine and spirit bottles.
Oh, okay.
I like the labels.
Good idea.
Of alcohol bottles very much. I think the differences that you see when you're strolling those aisles is vast and very interesting and inspiring. I'm also still maybe one of the few avid Pinterest users.
Okay.
So I still check Pinterest probably at least twice a day, whether it's for fun personal looky-loos or looking for inspiration for my job. I'm saving color palettes off of there. I'm saving fashion tidbits that I like the color palettes from. I get fed packaging designs from the Pinterest algorithm, which are helpful. And then also, I would say being a consumer myself, when I am doing my own personal shopping for myself and my family, I am seeing mass market and brick and mortar retailers and what they have on shelf, how it's packaged. Tend to walk through the store and think of everything that can be improved, but it's still inspiring either way.
So were you always like this? Were you the kid who had your art on display in the classroom and with the A+ on it and just always were looking at things through this eye, or is this something that developed over time?
No, I've always been creative. I do not like math. I do not like science. I like crayons. I like markers. I like Adobe Illustrator.
Fair.
My first job out of college was actually, I kind of fell into it, but it was for a scrapbook company. We did scrapbooking supplies and stationery when scrapbooking was like a really big hobby for people. And fell even more in love with it there. But I was a product manager for this company, and I was working with graphic designers. And as soon as I started that job, I was like, I have to change my entire career path. I want to do the design portion of this. But I still like the product management job, and it just so happens that every job I've had since then has been product development with a twist of design. So it's worked out.
That's very cool.
That's fascinating. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
How would you describe your own design style?
I skew minimalist with organized information. So for Sprayco in particular, we often have to list a bunch of boring information, like how many ounces, what suitable materials can go in this container, is it TSA approved, what can you do with it? So organizing kind of tedious bits of info like that is really important to me, and so I like to keep it as clean as possible when I'm creating packaging. And then making sure the item is easy to interpret is also a big focus of mine.
Nicole, I want to come back to your inspiration and ask, is there a package that you have come back to time and time again that has inspired you or driven you? Perhaps it's you don't have to name the brand, but you looked at it and you had a wow moment. And over your career, you've come back to that and tried to build upon that. Is there one thing that sticks out?
That's a very good question. I don't think there's a package that sticks out. Material-wise, I'm always drawn personally to flex pouches because I like the distinction of the tactileness that you can do. So you can make it see-through, you can make it metallic, you can make it like a soft touch or a matte. But brand-wise, the brand that always gets me, even though their packaging isn't great, but their design is excellent, is Rifle Paper Company. It's just florals printed on various items, but every time I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Rifle.
What about Rifle gets you?
Well, it's very distinguishable, and I think just their color palettes overall. They repeat the same floral type pattern on everything they do in different colors, and it translates from everything to thank you cards to salt and pepper shakers. Like they do it all, and it just flows seamlessly, and it's always recognizable.
Interesting. I'm not familiar with that brand. Are you, Cindy?
I'm not either, but it sounds like they've got the cohesive thing down.
Yes, they're doing that well.
That's good. That's good.
Absolutely. Nicole, what advice would you give to somebody starting out with designing their package?
So I'm a visual person, obviously. So when I'm designing a package, or the advice I would give to someone who's just starting is put yourself in a physical location and think, where is this item going to be merchandised? Is it going to be shelved? Is it going to be hanging? Is it going to be in a box? Is it going to be in a bin? How many pieces does it include? Is the packaging meant to be reusable? Can it be reusable? There's, aside from the information that you have to publish on a package, like how many pieces are in here? How many ounces does it hold? The physical presence of how it sits in the store can also make or break it.
That's a very good point, and probably something that people sometimes overlook, right? Because it's maybe different from store to store, but you have to think about who your dominant retailers are and make sure you're appearing the best way possible on the shelf there.
Exactly, especially when trends influence packaging. And you might find that what you thought was a really cool, unique idea is somebody already beat you to market, so now you either have to change it or you're now competing as a lookalike with other brands on the shelf.
I would think there would be a big challenge too to stand out on the e-commerce platforms too, right? So in store, at least somebody has the opportunity to pick up the product and feel it, turn it, twist it, all of that. But when it's online, how do you make it stand out?
Packaging wise, that's very difficult. It's very difficult for the product we do. When you're selling an empty 3-ounce bottle, people want to pick it up. They want to flip the cap open and shut. They want to see how it's going to function when they put their shampoo in it and how easily it squeezes or doesn't. So yes, online for Sprayco and the retail division of MJS in particular is challenging, but as a rule overall, yeah, the packaging can be completely different in e-commerce versus brick and mortar.
What are some common packaging design mistakes or pitfalls that you see, not yourself making, but maybe others out there making?
Probably the most important would be forgetting your core customer and who that is. If you're designing something for a sportsman and it's supposed to be designed for a family of 4 and the mom is doing the majority of their shopping, those are two extremely different customers. So forgetting who your core customer is. Trying not to let your personal design aesthetic influence how you're designing the product. So back to that example, I suppose, if you are an avid hunter and you like camouflage, that's probably not your core customer. You have to probably stay away from camouflage on all of your labels.
Sure.
Nicole, can you talk a little bit about AI and how that is used for design? I hear a lot of talk about that in the industry. What are the benefits and what are the downfalls?
I think AI is extremely useful. It can be thrilling even to use. I am a newer adopter of ChatGPT, not necessarily for packaging, but some personal questions I've asked it. And I've never felt more geriatric than when I hit my husband on the head because he was sitting behind me and I'm like, watch this thing generate information. It was quite wild. So it can be an experience and it can be extremely helpful. The problem with it, though, is that there will always be limitations, especially in design. You cannot describe a feeling or a tone to AI and expect it to produce accurate results. You're only going to get branding on point for tangible goods when you're working with a live human being. So the other limitation, I think, is if everyone starts to use AI for everything, you're going to lose all brand identity. You're going to lose all uniqueness between brands, and that voice that the brand typically carries is just going to disappear.
So you describe it as a tool and not the single tool. It's part of your toolbox.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
I can say as a non-designer, I've dabbled with using AI for design things, and I find it very strange the way AI will take some of the elements that you've given to it and keep it accurate, and take other elements and just do whatever it wants with it. So I wanted it to say, reflect something that had a certain year, and it just decided to change the year that it spit out in the design. So there's things that are very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Nicole. One of the things I know from myself working with designers year over year is there's always little nuances that a designer will suggest or throw into a design that the average person just doesn't think of. Well, what if I made this exclamation point into more of a comic feel to reflect the rest of the ad? Well, I would never think of that. So I'm not thinking to give AI that idea, and AI is not coming up with that on its own. So it is interesting. It's a nice starting point, I think, sometimes as a non-designer, to be able to say, hey, can you show me what this would look like? But then after that, I feel like I need a person.
Mm-hmm. We at Sprayco have just recently started utilizing AI for CAD drawings, so product concept drawings, and that can save us quite a bit of time. Is it extremely accurate? No, like we were saying, but the time savings is worthwhile in something like that for mocked up design for presentation purposes.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Nicole, what platform are you using?
For AI?
For AI, yes.
ChatGPT is the one I've dabbled in the most.
Okay. How about you, Cindy?
That's been more what I've been doing. I think it's in it Sora or whatever that's part of ChatGPT. I've done some things in Canva as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Canva a lot.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yep. So, Nicole, we know that you love your day-to-day job today. But if you had any dream design job that you could just reach out, grab, and it would be yours, what would that be?
I would actually like to work for no one in particular, snarky stationery company. I don't know if you're familiar with any of those Post-its that you can, subtly slide your coworkers that say, hey, you screwed this up again.
Right. Yes.
Per my last email. But anything with kind of a dry sense of humor to it, I am always gravitate toward those funny pens, printed Post-it stacks, notebooks, journals, etc.
Things that you can put on the desk that
I think that would be very funny. Not necessarily for work either, just in general.
Sure. Okay,
that would
wonderful.
be fun. You could start your own freelance company.
Yeah. There you go. Well, we could maybe use AI to think of a title for it.
Right. Well, if they show up on your desk, you know who they came from.
Be on the lookout.
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're thrilled to have had you here, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.